Welcome back to the Casino Rama Grill Room. Toller Cranston, ladies and gentlemen. We're flashing back to 1976 in Innisbrook.
Yeah.
The bronze medal. And now today, you say that you are embarrassed to even be a part of the sport. And I'm just wondering, did any of this come from watching the 2010 Winter Games for Vancouver? Like, you have to be watching from afar, just shaking your head just a little bit.
Very good point. And I got to tell you, I hate talking skating, but we're going to. And what happened to me is that I watched in Mexico, shall we say, the men's competition. And the men's competition, figure skating, and the men's competition was readdressing my past and was sort of ripping the scab off a wound, and all sorts of things sort of were revisited that I had thought were long gone, long forgotten. And
for example?
Well, I'm going to tell you. I mean, very quickly. The way that it's judged now is the more you do is the more points you get. So that means everything is sort of overproduced and, say, generic. Now, the boy that won was the American boy, Lysenchuk. Yep. I thought it was the kind of performance that was like a cat holding on or hanging on a tin roof. It's just like, don't do one more thing, you're fine, just get out as quickly as you can. So I didn't enjoy it. I was happy that he did well, but it didn't give me pleasure because he was under great tension.
What would have made you happier? What are you looking for?
I'm going to tell you.
All right.
Then the Russian boy, who was Plushenko, I thought in the first minute of the program, well, you know, he's won. And then in the middle of the program, he became like a cat, like hanging by a claw. And it wasn't great skating. He sort of came out on one foot. And then at the end, he sort of melted into a Chippendale boy. And started bumped and grind, and I thought, you know, something is wrong here because it's not Olympic. But the problem that bothered me the most, and I take exception to any comparison, but it was the other American boy, Johnny Weir, who wore the roses on his head, who was, as we know, like raving homosexual, but skated well, skated clean, skated without a mistake, and dropped from 5th to 7th. By skating perfectly. That bothered me a lot.
So this is all about the new scoring system then.
And look here, and let's sort of end it. But before you had 2 marks. One was artistic, or rather technical merit.
Sure.
And you had artistic impression. And if you were the judge from Wales, then I knew exactly what you were saying, because you were saying this for this and this for that. Now, what you do is, I mean, it's mindless, is that you wait, I mean the skater waits, and then all of a sudden a mark like floats over them and say, this is what you get, but it doesn't tell me anything. I don't know what the judges are telling me.
I hear what you're saying, and I just wonder if there could be a balance that can really be struck in the sport, because I'm looking at it, I'm a football guy, I'm a basketball guy, I'm a soccer guy, I'm watching that sport. I want to see guys go out and do quads. I want to see guys go out and do quads. I want to see those boundaries pushed while keeping the artistic element prevalent within the sport. And I just wonder if there's...
I said you were right. You were sort of right.
Okay.
Elvis Stoico, who also lives in Mexico, not in my town, I wouldn't allow that, but he lives in Mexico, and he's kind of saying, like, real red-blooded men do quads and the rest don't.
He did say that.
Lysenchuk did not do a quad.
Nope.
Elvis would have fanned those fires because, let's say, one of his accomplishments was he could do it at the expense of everything else.
But now it's revolutionizing the sport to a certain extent, because just recently Patrick Chan went out and did his first quad in competition.
Hold on.
Okay. I'm holding.
So Elvis did the quad, but as the perfect skater in the big picture, he's really at the bottom of the list. Kurt Browning was a much greater mixture of everything you're supposed to do, and there were some flaws there. Chan, I mean, one can only imagine to skate that well. I do agree with you. You have to push the boundaries, and you have to, I mean, if you don't fall, you don't improve. But you must embrace every single nuance and aspect of skating like Chan, to be a great skater, which Elvis never did.
See, we need you to come back to Canada and do figure skating commentary,
but
Toller.
I was fired.
We need stuff like that.
I was fired.
And we're going to talk about that after the break. Cool? Sit right there. You sit right there at home. We'll be back with more with Toller Cranston right after this.